We are live. Welcome back, everybody. I am so excited to be here with you. It is another week, another day, another Tuesday on the Soul Family podcast and live show. So, for those of you who are with us live, hello. Got my mug of coffee, and usually I haven't been doing coffee right now. I am sipping on this super slowly because it's yummy. That has hazelnut nut pod creamer. If you've never heard of that, it's a really nice dairy-free option. I get it from Kroger, and it has been really helpful as I've been really continuing to monitor needing dairy-free and gluten-free, because look at that guy. Things are showing up. Pimples from underneath. All of the things are happening. So absolutely needing to go back to dairy-free, gluten-free. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about today. So welcome. So excited that you guys are here. Today we are going to be talking about the 3 ways that from real life you can connect with your spouse, reconnect with your husband every day, each and every day, especially during this quarantine lifestyle, which is really hard and really emotional. And oftentimes, if you're anything like me, you usually, if it's hard and emotional and life is throwing you for a curveball, you actually step away from your spouse and you retreat into what I would call my shell. I retreat into my shell and I need some alone space, time, and a lot of times that's good. That's good for processing, but it's not super good to stay there for a long time and to not continue to connect with your spouse throughout the day. So today, we're going to be walking through 3 ways that this week in real time, Alan and I have been choosing to connect again and again with one another. So I'm just going to get right to it because I'm pretty darn excited about this for the things that we've been learning. The first one that I want you guys to know is that, we have started to hug each other, just hug each other. And we both love physical affection. One of the things that I've started to notice is that when a lot of stuff is going on, I tend to close off, and my husband does too. And so to actually say out loud the thing that we both really need, which is just a hug, is so helpful. This morning, breakfast time, it's always happening during meal prep or right after finishing food in the kitchen. It's been, hey, babe, let me hug you. Hey, hon, I want to hug you. Let me just give you a hug. Good morning. It's time for a hug. I'm going to give you a hug. Or at the end of the day, after work is done, oh, welcome home, even though he's not actually coming home. He's been home, but he's coming home from work. And I'm like, welcome home. And I give him a big hug. Those hugs have been so filling for my soul and so helpful for me to remember, you know what? Physical affection is really important, and it fills me up, and it helps me be whole, and it helps me know that I have support even in the rough patches of what quarantine lifestyle looks like, which is oftentimes a lot of isolation and a lot of groundhog days again and again. The other thing that I was thinking about, I know I want to make sure I go to the next one, is number 1, we just talked about how to hug your man throughout the day, help you guys feel connected. Another way to help you feel connected is to go on a 15-minute walk after work ends. Go on a walk, get out of the house. And the most beautiful thing about going on a walk with your husband is that, and this isn't for all men, but for a lot of men, when they're physically doing something and they're not looking in the eye of the other person, they tend to talk more. So I've just found this with my husband, and a lot of other women that I know as well have found this with their husbands. So when we end up going on a 15-minute walk, it feels like a date for us. And it also allows us to foster communication and connection and really work through what we're deeply processing in a way that is unobtrusive and allows for just all thoughts and feelings to come out. It's so nice. And truly, for me, who loves to look people in the eyes all the time when I communicate, it's a really refreshing thing to be able to just look ahead and hear and listen and respond. So in addition to getting out of the house and letting your energy kind of like get restarted by physically moving your body, it also fosters that communication with your beloved. So I highly recommend you do it. Also because it feels like a date. And P.S., doing that every day feels like a date. I want you to do something else that kind of feels like a date too, because the essence of a date is that you're pursuing your beloved, right? So if you do one thing, just one thing every day for your appearance, this is, I know it's not all about appearance, but when you are married, and we're married, gals, that's why we're here. This is what this is about, the Soul Family Marriage Podcast. You are body, soul, and spirit. The one thing that I've been doing, I've just started doing, I know this sounds silly, but in quarantine life, things change, right? I'm combing my hair all the way through. I started this like 2 days ago. The first day I started, my husband said, "Oh, wow, that looks really, really nice." And I'm like, okay, I will comb my hair for you. I will say, like, I want to attract my man. As a married woman, I want to be able to say and do specific things that show my husband great love. And that is so critical and so beautiful. And so something that he actually had us do this past Saturday, he set up a date. He got my in-laws to babysit our little one, and we went out to do takeout and ate in the car and then went for a walk around a different area. And it felt like a date. And it was a date. It was a date. And as I was getting ready for it, I didn't prepare anything for this. Usually I'm the one who prepares because I get babysitters in line and I coordinate schedules and stuff. And I find out, okay, what restaurants are near the babysitter's house. But this time it was 100% him. So I realized, oh, wow, like I'm being pursued. I am being pursued. And here's how I want to show up to be, a recipient of this pursuit. I'm going to straighten my hair. That's what I said. I'm going to straighten my hair for this date. And it was a big deal. I haven't straightened my hair for over 30 days. Straightening my hair for a date truly meant that I was dressing up in whatever way, fashion, shape that I desired, not for myself, not for any other person out there who I'm like going to the gym, or how you kind of dress for other women to kind of fit the molds. I was dressing for my husband. I was making something special, like showing up in a special way for him, for no other reason but him. And when I kind of told him that, and I was experiencing this, and I've never in my life had a time where, of course, none of us have, where I truly strip away all that I've been doing for the normal daily routine I have for how I dress and what I do with my hair, and just adding one piece of it back and doing it for an intentional purpose of showing up for my husband in a special way because he's pursuing me for a special date was incredible. It made him feel so special. It made him feel so honored that he was the one that I was dressing up for. It made him feel so respected that he was important enough, to do that for. And he knows he's important. He knows I respect him. But I've never thought through how beautiful it is that we can use just outward adornment for intentional moments like that. Outward adornment, which is oftentimes half of the thought is that, oh, you shouldn't be focused on makeup. Oh, like the Lord looks at the heart. That's half of our Christian perspective. And the other half is like, no, this is good. This is self-care. This is self-love. Like you are bringing your full self to the table. But the third perspective that I have just been thinking of after this date that my husband created to pursue my heart, is to use makeup, to use different fashion items, materials, like hair products for intentional purposes to respect, to show respect, to show love, to show that something is special to a loved one. And similar, one of my friends was saying, oh my gosh, it's so similar. This is Lindsay with the Faith Feast. I was chatting with her about that. So similar to when you dress up. You dress up when you go to a wedding to show respect and honor to the couple that's getting married. That's beautiful. Absolutely. That's absolutely true. And in this regard, it's the same sentiment. To show love and respect and excitement and desire to your husband as well through how you show up, how you can outwardly adorn your body to really show him that you are interested too. Isn't that cool, you guys? I've never thought about it like that. So I know that we're talking right now, if you're just coming in, we're talking about the 3 ways to reconnect with your spouse on a daily basis here in this quarantine lifestyle. And truly, I was talking about a date that my husband set up for us this past weekend, and how I just did one thing and it really made him feel so loved and special. And that was straightening my hair. And so really just encouraging you guys to use fashion or hair products or makeup in a way intentionally during the season, not as much for yourself, which sometimes that's very helpful. Use it for yourself, go for it. But also think of your husband. Dress for him. And the reason I'm talking about this so much is because so often I would dress for meeting the criteria of how women around me were dressing. So to think through clothing and accessories and fashion through the mindset of like, what does my husband see and how can I love him with this is really incredible. Okay, so back to what we're talking about. I'm going to make sure we are still fully live on all of our stuff. We are. I see you all. Hello, goodbye. Okay, we're good. All right, so the first way to connect with your spouse every day, hug each other while you're prepping for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The second way was to go on a walk. Go on a walk after the workday is done for 15 minutes. Talk, reconnect, really rekindle that connection between you two. Start communication up again. And then also go on date nights. Very important. Even if they look like they're just at home and you're making a fancy dessert, it's still phenomenal and important. And number 3 is to pray together before bed. To pray together before bed not only helps you unite yourself with the Lord together, but it also unites you together on what's on your heart and what's actually on your mind. And sometimes spontaneous prayer out loud with your spouse is uncomfortable. And so if that's the case, that's okay. That's okay. That's something to grow in, and that's something maybe you just say like, this is one thing I want to pray for tonight. That's perfect. Something that you can do if you are feeling that you don't have a spontaneous prayer to say, that you don't know what words to say, is just to pray a structured prayer like the Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory. Amen. Like that prayer written in the Bible is meant for us to pray. So if you don't have words, you can pray that with your spouse at night. That's the one that Alan and I, my husband and I, just prayed together last night because we were so tired and we had no words. And it was wonderful. We united our hearts spiritually to each other and to the Lord, saying, thy will be done, Lord. Thy will be done. Oh, so excited for you guys. I wanted so much to talk about this today, more than any other topic. Anything else that I can think of off the bat is because I want you to choose to connect, even in the hard times you're experiencing, even in the pain, the isolation, the confusion, the uncertainty, the dire desire to go back to normal. You can still choose to connect. And I desire for you guys to do that. So I'm hoping that these tips can really help you really make a way to do that in your everyday. Got a couple questions for you to marinate on. The first is, well, when are you going to take that walk? When are you going to do it? Make it happen. Make it happen. Say, after today, we're going to go for a walk, hon. Also, try it out. Give your husband a hug. Just say, babe, I want to hug you. Good morning. Let me hug you. Welcome home from work. I'm going to hug you. Like, I'm so excited to see you. And what small prayer? Think of what small prayer you guys can say together. If it's not an Our Father, no problem. There are prayers online that I'm sure there's even one you could, let me see. I'm sure there's one you could even think about for, sorry, everything's everywhere. Just during the quarantine, I'm almost 100% positive there is a prayer out there on Google specific for this time that someone has created. Just print that out or put it on your phone and read that. There's structured prayers everywhere. Whatever the sentence is, whatever the phrase is, unite your hearts together and unite your hearts to God. And the reason that this is really important, you guys, is because deep love is continually fostered through that connection. So get out there, hug the person you chose to be with forever, and I'm praying you guys have a peace-filled day. Also, if you want your Forever I Choose You 3-day free devotional for truly understanding what those words mean, forever I choose you. Forever I am walking in this life with you. Forever you are the person that I chose to be forever with. You can get that download link in the notes. It's here for you. So excited. And I hope you guys have a great day.